Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Yay! Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email us questions, complaints at wrestlingisHard@gmail.com. I am Jim. Hello, Brandon. Hello. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. A little under the weather, but I think I sound all right, so we can push through for an hour or two.
Just yell through everything.
Yeah, I'll scream at you guys. Had a good weekend. Caught up with your brother on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
I got to say.
Oh, by the way, Chris, how are you? You guys can talk. Go ahead.
I'm fantastic. Great week.
Very classy guy, this Chris Lardani. Really impressed me. He texted me Saturday about 5 o'clock. Doesn't really mention anything. Says, we talked about it on the podcast Tuesday. Maybe we'll watch the fight. Text me, says, hey, I'm buying it. Okay. I don't even let him know I'm coming over. Till about 10 o'clock, I message him back and say, hey, City and I, my girlfriend, we're on our way over. I get there. I see right in front of the TV is a little high top table, 2 seats with a white piece of paper on it scribbled reserved. And I'm like, I wish I would have got here earlier. I could have grabbed this. Go around the corner. The place is packed. Say, hey, what's up, Chris? He sees me. Yo, that table's for you two right there, right in front of the TV. Tons of service from this guy. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Couldn't appreciate it more.
How'd the show go? The
Fun.
fight show.
Yeah, we had a
The fight show was good. It was, it was good. Good fight show.
Who won? Who fought? I don't know anything. Explain to our listeners what the
John Bones Jonesy. Yeah.
John Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
John Bones Jones. John Bones Jonesy. He came back after, 3 years? And beat a guy in less than 2 minutes. That was the main event. But the undercard, the co-main event, the woman who lost, that was a massive fucking upset. Massive.
I saw her face.
Her face was 2 different colors. That's what happens when your
colors?
jaw almost gets ripped off your face. Yeah. Yeah.
I did see, I don't pay attention to this, but I catch some stuff, and I saw some training videos of the woman training to counter. I guess this woman's has this really good spinning heel kick or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were showing training videos of.
She likes to spin around.
She's a spinner. They were showing training videos of this woman just working on countering that thing over and over and over and over again. It's pretty fucking cool. Did it work? Did she counter it?
You'd have to ask Brandon. I was kind of busy.
She did. Yeah. That ended up being what happened. Yeah. She usually when that Valentina Shevchenko gets tired, she starts going for some Superman punches, some spinning back fists, and she ended up getting taken down late in the fight and strangled. But it was a good time. I got to see Chris too interact with the karaoke man at Nick's.
Yeah, we give it to each other.
Couldn't tell if these were real fights or fake fights, but
I love that guy. That guy's awesome. I'm joking around. He has said things in the past on the microphone and gone too far, and I've pulled him aside and given him the old. If I got to talk to him, I got to give him the old. Look, you're not making me look good over here. This is when we chill out for a little bit. Say, oh man, I'm sorry. But even then, I got to listen to him apologize all night long, and I don't want to listen to that. So I just try to roll with it.
How are you doing, Jim?
Good, solid weekend. Went out with my in-laws. We got some drinks and stuff. Drank way too much. I had sex, which doesn't happen. Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking old man. Like
PUSS.
Were you like Hito Rick?
I was. It was ripping and
tearing
tearing.
there, Jim?
My lungs were ripping and tearing. I was out of gas, brother. Whoa. It's a lot easier when you're doing it by yourself. Woo, brother.
Put it down.
Doing that fucking the dance.
The town, brother. That was awesome.
You dropped that thing on him?
It was fucking great. I did drop that thing. It was amazing.
I love how you get to a certain age. So imagine how I feel. Because you get to a certain age and it takes massive amounts of alcohol to get that going.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
so imagine.
Hey, the Hims was perfect. So took that Hims big glass of water. By the time I was done going, it was like the big little pinky dick was sticking straight.
Really? All right.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Timed
it out. Timed it out.
How long does that last?
The Hims?
Yeah.
As long as you want it to. You just get boned up pretty quickly.
And does it go away?
Yeah, and then when you start thinking about boning again, it comes back up again.
That's weird.
I've never had it where I've only used it a couple times, but I've never had it like you take it now you're like walking around with your dick hard.
Yeah, I never used anything.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, still, I'd be like, all my life, I gotta get rid of it.
So it's never like this. It's never hanging. It's kind of like in a semi-erect. It gets the job done.
Then you got to get the cock ring out. Just really pinch it at the base. Get it.
You do this. You do the pinch on the base. They get all the blood to the head, so you can get it in there.
Get it in there.
You're bringing back flashbacks of me having to work all those fucking nights.
You got to get in there, like yes, squirming it in.
Oh god.
Oh, good stuff. There you go.
Well, I had a pretty cool mail day today.
Bravo.
What's that, Chris?
I had a pretty cool mail day today.
Oh, you got toys? Let's see.
No, I didn't get toys. My wife.
What'd you get?
Something for me. I got it right here, actually. Oh, it's pretty big. Well, it's as big as it is. Sweet. Look at that. Let's move the microphone.
What we got there? Can't really tell.
Fucking Rob Halford.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Sweet Rob Halford. Just Rose found this guy on, I guess, Etsy.
Yeah.
Where the ladies shop.
Mm-hmm. And, I shop there too.
Yeah, so do I. And so I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's pretty cool. But here's the funny part. Sorry. Moved away from my mic there. So I opened it up. And that's
to get these visual cues, you'll have to go to YouTube.
Yeah, that's a Hobby Lobby frame. So I got to spend some time in the home. It's where people gather. Aisle. My favorite aisle. It's the fucking best.
I love it.
It's the best. It's so bad.
Like if you walk into somebody's house and they got that shit on the wall, that's where they went. They went to Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, 100%.
Or the home store. That's another one.
My neighbor and I constantly, this woman that lives next door, every time I have, because I go in there by paintbrushes once in a while. Mm-hmm. Every time I go in there, I make sure I walk up to one of them and take a picture and send it to her. Like those fucking sign people. Yeah. But he sent me this. This one was free. So we got modern Rob Halford.
Yeah.
Then this one was an 8x10. It's kind of hard to see, but it's old, past Rob Halford, young Rob Halford.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I got to find a frame for that.
There you go. Rob Halford.
Guys, what's the guy's name?
Rob Halford?
No.
Just want to see how many times I can say his name.
McHugh Designs. I can't read his signature, but that was the guy who did it.
Cool.
Yeah. Very happy with it. It's going to go right on my wall. I was going to put it up before we got started, but I've also been pulling all my toys out of the cabinet that were in blister packs and hanging them on the wall, which is, I'm running out of room here.
I'm getting, I just picked up a, what's it called? Little roadie box, for equipment. Electrical equipment. Take my toys and stick them in there. My room is a fucking mess. From here, all you see is a couple flags and some plants behind me.
Foliage.
I can't do shit until they go outside. They go outside as soon as it gets warm, and I can clean this thing up. Just boxes. Stinks. Brandon, how's your floor look?
Yeah, I have too much shit too. I've been selling shit on eBay for the most of the time I've been unemployed. I feel like I think I've sold like 200 things, which sounds like a lot, but I still look around. I'm just like, oh my god, there's too much shit in here. So that's how you know you have too much shit.
I'm trying to get all my stuff up here so I can look through it and see what I think's worth dumping.
Oh well, it's funny.
All those Funko Pops, Chris.
Dude,
right,
bro. They're selling their entire stock for nothing.
They're throwing them in the trash. They're taking them to the dump.
So I have a bunch in boxes behind me. You can't see them. I don't know if you can see them on video, but the reason why I bought them was because they perfectly filled the void between the top of the cabinet and the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And when you walk up the steps in my basement, you can see where the wires are for the lights. I just didn't like the way it looked. So I bought that and it worked out perfectly. But I bought ones that, I was like, they had to be cool. I mean, it had to be something I really want, like Star Trek stuff. You didn't
buy them as a investment?
No, I've never bought anything as an investment in my life. But I was sent a message. I was sent an article. Oh, you might find this interesting. And they were dumping their whole and I said to the person, I said, yeah, they're Beanie Babies. They have every IP that's available. They bought. And they put out a billion things that all essentially look exactly the same.
Do you mean you don't have 7 different versions of Grogu, the baby Yoda?
No. I could took me a minute to figure out who Grogu was. No, I mean, I got some good ones, but they're but I got a whole box of them a whole box of them that aren't packaged along with all my wrestling ones. And they're all going to the dude. And I'll probably get $20 for them all.
Hell yeah.
By 40 or 50 of them. Not even. So
I can't
probably
believe that
got like
company.
$10.
I can't believe that company lasted as long as it did because they couldn't stop. There was a new variation every 2 days of whatever interest that you had. They were producing another piece of content for you to buy. It's so oversaturated for so long. Not that, like you said, not as if you're not buying it to collect, who the fuck cares? But that's kind of what the backbone of that shit is that it's desirable, and they hopefully whoever owned that thing stocked some cash away because they got going down fast.
They make a ton of other shit. You know what I mean? And some of their other stuff, like I said, it's not just those pops that they make. They make some other stuff. I have some other things that they make. You know, like weird little minis. But, you know, I mean, even them, they all, as a collector, when you see something, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then you look at it and it's got that Funko name on it. You're like, oh, it's trash. Only because there's going to be 8 billion more of these and there's really nothing unique about it. So let's just throw a bunch of shit against the wall and see what sticks. And yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if their company's going under, but they put out so much goddamn shit and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And there's always another sucker and eventually you run out of suckers. And I guess with the Funko Pops, they've run out of suckers. Nobody wants them anymore.
Right. That's my Nendoroids. I don't collect those anymore. At least I know they're numbered. There's only a limited amount.
What?
Nendoroids? You don't know what they are?
No. I'll Google them and then you keep talking.
Yeah, they're like anime and manga characters, but they're fully posable.
Neon Android?
Neon androids. Nendoroids. Yeah, you pull your face off and pull their faces off and hands and everything.
I have. Are they the ones with the numbers on the boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a link from the Wind Waker.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the boxes themselves are numbered as well. Like there's a count. They're not just like number 134. That's on the front. On the back of it, it's this many out of, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So
they're
still worth what I paid for them. That's all I care about.
I just assumed that they said. That's funny. I never actually looked at what they were called. They come from Good Smile, right? That's the name of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I just assumed that it's
Neon Android.
Neon Android. I never actually looked at it. I have one. And he's, I love him. He's a cool little fig. And I think they came out with an Oscar one. And I really like that, but I didn't buy it. But even like
Oscar who? The wrestler?
Oscar, the wrestler, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry. Not Evangelion. Isn't that what you're thinking of? No, the wrestler. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're pretty cool. The Japanese version of Funko Pops. They're pretty cool, though. All right, you want to talk about wrestling?
Yeah, please do. I'm having flashbacks of me at my first job out of college, driving to the King of Prussia Mall on my lunch break to Hot Topic and trying to snag the exclusive Funko Pops that could have some resale value to pay my rent. Start days, man. I don't know.
Wait, wasn't that you get chucked off eBay because of Funko Pop?
Yeah, it's exactly what happened.
That's why you got bounced? Funko Pops?
It's probably 4 years ago, but yeah, I got junked off eBay because if I wasn't flipping the Funkos for enough money, I was a little slow to the post office.
Have you ever gotten those ads on your phone for people going to pay the bill at a restaurant and they're like, "Hold on, my bank account's low," and then they play solitaire on their phone and then they go, "Oh, I won. I can pay for my French fries."
Could you imagine
and there's money
that you can finance right now cracks me up. You can finance like a Uber Eats like pork roll, egg and cheese breakfast sandwich. It's like if you go to order pizza, they're like, yeah, you can pay with Klarna for $3 a month for the next 7 months. It's insane.
Oh my god!
Anything to get your money, anything to get your info. That's what they're buying, right? I would assume.
When like how is there money in that information? I don't get it.
There's not.
Explain to me.
There's not. No, I read this whole thing about it. It's like it doesn't work, but that's a new thing now. Yeah, it's just like we'll try it. Here's $2 billion to see if it works. See if somebody will finance. I saw you could finance a dog, which I thought was funny. Like the
really repossess it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's funny.
Yo, you can't afford it. You probably shouldn't buy it.
Like busting into a house and trying to repo a dog.
I was listening to I was listening to Joe Rogan had CoffeeZilla, who's a guy who exposes fraudsters on videos.
Okay.
I think he might be the guy that gets the Indian or Pakistani or Bangladesh Bengali guy. No, what are you doing? And he's
That
like
3,
putting
2,
numbers
1.
in.
Scammer gets scammed. Scammer
Yeah.
gets scammed. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think it might be him, but I'm not sure. But he was explaining the whole FTX thing.
Yes.
And how they frauded everybody or defrauded. I don't
Defrauded.
know.
Yeah.
Defrauded everybody. And dude, like after a while, whenever they start talking about Bitcoin or NFTs, man, my head is just like, what the fuck? Especially Bitcoin. NFTs, it makes sense because even though I don't find any value, there's always somebody that finds value in something. Right. But this was just like he was talking about it, and I was just like, oh God. I don't get it. I mean, I still don't get the end of Trading Places. So, you know.
There you go. Everybody turn those machines back on.
It's
Bet
all
on the futures. They lost all
complete
the money.
bullshit at this point.
Yeah. So it's pyramid schemes. You know, it's the pyramid. You know, it's the shape of a pyramid, a triangle. Stardom's Triangle Derby.
Hey.
There you go. Segway time. It was the 4th. So Saturday. I was up early watching it like a psychopath. Drinking beers. It was a good show. Lots of pre-show stuff. We'll go right down to the semifinals for the Triangle Derby. God's Eye defeated Cosmic Angels. I think Natsupoi ate the pin. Then we got Prominence, who are the champs, defeated the Neon Stardom Army in a really good fucking sequence. Final sequence between Suzu Suzuki and Yuna Mizumori was really good. And Chihiro Hashimoto, who accepted a challenge from Himeka and her going away, her retirement, and the news comes out that part of the reason she's retiring is because of online bullying.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and she defeats Himeka and beats the living piss out of her for 8 minutes and 52 seconds. Brent, any thoughts on these? Did you catch them?
No, I started with the match right after these, but I did see that news and was just pretty discouraged with the scene overall, considering the history of Stardom and bullying. So I don't have much positive to say about that in particular. How was the front half of the card?
It was fine. I mean, the Derby matches were short, and we needed to get to a point, so they were like 10 minutes each. I mean, the early matches were just there were 6-man, 6-person, 10-person tag matches just to get everybody on the card. Everybody's got to be on the card, brother. But,
Sure.
Yeah, it really picked up with the Prominence versus Neon Stardom Army match. That was really fucking good. And then Hashimoto, she says enough of this bullshit with Himeka and says, Shuri, you're going to have to face me. And then Shuri comes down and says, yep, okay, we're fighting. So we're getting that. We'll get to that card in a minute. But next up on the card, World of Wonder of Stardom title match versus Kasai Kamitani versus Hazuki. Hazuki pinned Kamitani in the trios tournament and challenge. And she did what they do in Stardom is they said, I pinned you. I want to fight you now. And it's up to the champ to say yes. And the champ says, so I was like, okay, let's do this. And a match that was like kind of a predetermined, we knew what was going to happen, but holy fuck, these two women were fucking awesome in this match. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, predetermined, but dramatic enough to the point where I actually thought Hazuki was going to win multiple times throughout this. Yeah, there was a decent amount of near falls where you're like, this really could go either way. Sai ends up retaining, like you mentioned. Noah, I noticed not doing is it the Phoenix Splash?
Oh, she did it.
Stepped on.
Fucked up. Yeah, she couldn't get the pin.
Yeah. Sorry, not getting it down still. That's what I meant to say. So, lingering storyline I thought was interesting from this.
Yeah, I think she hit 2 Star Crusher bombs. That's how she beat Hazuki. Hazuki would not give up in this. Their costumes looked fucking awesome. The entrance looked awesome. The crowd was completely behind Hazuki in this. They really wanted her to win. Saya wins. I think this was Saya's best match since she's been kind of on a slump since she busted Mina Shirakawa's face. I think this is kind of a return to form. She was pretty good in this fucking match. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, this is straight. I like this one. It's like a straight up fight. I have a point I'm going to make. I think I'm going to make it later on that this match kind of leans heavier into. So I'm going to kind of just shut up on this one. And really, it leans with all the Stardom stuff that we're watching right now. So, I mean, you can move on. How many times has Saya Kamatani defended this belt? Like
I think it was
20?
13?
Yeah.
That was her 13th defense, something like that. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. So, I mean, she comes across like a fucking stone cold killer in these matches now. Even though she has some flaws, she still manages to pull them off, which is, it's entertaining to watch her.
I mean, she's super athletic and all that stuff. She's piecing it all together. But in this match, like, in a lot of these title matches, you'll see her come out and she stands in the corner and she's like breathing heavy and she gives off this, like, I'm not, like, I have to build up my energy inside me because I'm not really that confident. But in this one, she was confident from fucking beginning to end, which was a pretty cool side to her. And I'm glad to see this. The catch is, at the end of this match, is Mina Shirakawa comes out and it's like, hey, you busted my face and you don't know how to do the that Phoenix Splash you tried earlier wasn't any good. You're going to need to use it to beat me. So they're next. We get the revenge match. Brandon,
I think that's fucking awesome. Just to be explicit here, one thing I thought was interesting about this was Suzuki looked just as good as
Hazuki. You mean Hazuki?
Yeah, sorry, Hazuki looked just as good, and you could give that belt to her if you wanted to make that decision as a company. So I thought that was encouraging.
She's an interesting case. There's a lot of girls like her that are that mid-card person. A person they can heat up and throw into a title match. I think this is their 5th time she's lost in Wonder Stardom title. It's interesting because she's really important to this company since she's come back. She speaks English. It's a nice contrast in the whole Stars dynamic and everything. She looked great. Her fucking costume looked fantastic. So, yeah, looking forward to more of her. Chris, final thoughts?
Yeah, you can move on.
High-speed title match. Zumi breaks the high-speed title defense and beats Starlight Kid 17 minutes and 5 seconds. Somehow they managed to change these up a little bit, and they're all fucking refreshing, and they're always entertaining. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You kind of know what you're getting, but also they're a good time every time. Didn't feel like 17 minutes in a good way.
Chris, good.
Yeah, they managed to Stardom manages to get around the rerun problem that everybody else seems to not be able to get around, which I don't understand why they can't. But you have people wrestle each other over and over again, and every match is completely fucking different, but the same. Like Brandon said, like you know what to expect, but you don't know how to expect it. So you know what you're going to get, but you don't know what way they're going to deliver it. So it's remains entertaining the entire time.
Starlight Kid tried to pull her one finisher, it's called the Eternal Foe. It's basically like a top rope Spanish fly. And in a nice change of pace, Azumi, when they're going up for it, shoved Starlight Kid so she couldn't land it, and then just went right for the pinning combinations, which was a great fucking spot. The whole crowd went nuts for it. This is a good one. And then Azumi, we're getting Azumi versus Mercedes Moné. That's that's not been confirmed yet. It's been mentioned multiple times. Mercedes Moné has mentioned it. Now, Hazuki, during the last press conference, has worked her way in, so we might actually have a 3-way between Hazuki, Azumi, and Mercedes Moné at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Sakura Genesis. Brandon, got thoughts?
No, nothing. I mean, I heard that. This is news to me, so that's pretty fucking cool. Mercedes Moné starting with Azumi here.
Yeah. We'll talk about the card in a minute. I got it ready to go. We'll go through some stuff coming up in Stardom. Next up, World of Stardom title match. Mayuki, if you remember in the beginning of the year, she came into Stardom to help out her friends in Rebel and Enemy. Julie does not like that because Julie does not like her. She's called her out multiple times. She said she fucking hates her at a press conference. Mayuki already said, I don't care. I don't care about your belt. I don't like you either. So, holy fuck. These women beat the shit out of each other for 18 minutes, and then we got a double count out. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, so I wrote down from this. One thing I appreciate about Stardom, that this is the second time it's happened in a third match we're going over here. Didn't see that press conference, didn't necessarily know that Yuki was like announced, don't care about the belt. Wrote down, felt like Yuki couldn't give any less of a shit about the belt, just wanted to take it to Julia, and Julia took her up on the offer. They make that clear within the match. I remember a while ago, Chris, when he was getting me to New Japan Pro Wrestling, both of you guys were saying the story's told in the ring, and that's something that I think they do a really good job of here. This was probably my favorite match of the night. It's a ton of fun. One of the more memorable Julia matches for me, to be honest, and I like where it fit in the card. So good change of pace here, fun.
Chris, good.
Julia, I just think in general too, not just Julia, but Stardom in general does a great job of, this goes, if I'm not mistaken, does this go all the way back to like Ice Ribbon?
Yeah, Ice Ribbon's the company. Julie was with Ice Ribbon 2019. Rosie Ogawa, quote unquote, poached her from Ice Ribbon. She came in and basically what happened was Julia had hit a certain point in her career and she wasn't going to get any further with a smaller company, Ice Ribbon. And Stardom brought her in. I mean, she looks like a totally different person. If you look at pictures of her, when she walked into Stardom from Ice Ribbon to what she looks like now, like she looks like a superstar now. She was always gorgeous, but now she just looks like a pro wrestler. And she blames Maya Yuki, storyline-wise, I don't know if that's true or not, as the reason why she couldn't get anywhere, because Maya was beating the fucking piss out of her all the time. Good.
So you have this whole storyline that if you weren't there to just explain that to me, I would have no idea why the fuck these two people had beef. And they still managed to get you intrigued on this thing that you know nothing about. So you don't have to follow the whole storyline. Back to what Brandon was saying, like they tell the story in the ring. The story's riveting enough that you can jump in basically in the middle of it or middle to the end of it and say, wow, it's pretty easy to figure out what's going on here. There's no, who's that guy? Who's this dude? What's this dude doing? Why is that guy coming down? What's going on here? So.
Yeah, and it's not that like I don't want to. I know Jimmy, you've mentioned this, so it's like I don't want to be the guy a year and a half into watching Stardom where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I just like the match. I have some depth to this, but this in particular, Stardom does a really good job of you could have, I don't know, C-level knowledge and it makes a lot of sense. You could know the full 5-year history and it makes a lot of sense, or you could just walk into it day one and it makes a lot of sense. Like they kind of cover every base as far as that.
One thing I liked about this is that if I remember correctly, Julie came out first. Or no, Maya came out first. I forget who came out first, but Maya, when she was getting introduced, just gets attacked immediately by Julie. Julie wasn't having this. You weren't coming here to showing off. The hell out of here. Goes outside. I think we get 2 attempted pinfalls by Maya Yuki throughout the 18-minute match. Multiple table spots. Rosie Ogawa's in the middle of it. They're like fighting real close to his body. He's always gonna get slammed at one point. This is fucking great. I love this shit. Shoot headbutts aside, this shit was fucking rad. I can do without shoot headbutts in pro wrestling. Come on.
They need to go away.
Come on. I mean, it's fucking nasty every time, but it makes me wince. Jesus Christ. But then after the match, Julie retains and Tom Nakano comes out. Tom just thinks she could just show up wherever the fuck she wants and challenge people. Big Yokohama show, she said, we could fight for whatever you want, Julia. I'll put anything up on the line. Her career, maybe? There's some rumors out there. She might be retiring, Tom.
She's like John Cena. Just show up.
Just shows up.
I want this.
They're piping and cheering. Whatever the fuck they were saying.
John Cena's fucking great.
There you go.
I saw that.
She have a bald spot?
She might. You pull that hair off. It's like her Naito-esque hair. There you go. Any final thoughts on that match? Ready?
No, sir.
Christopher?
No, let's rock and roll.
Title match. Our Stardom title. Prominence goes through. Prominence is the champ. They say, you know what? To make this interesting, God's Eye, you're the challenger for the Triangle Derby. Let's make it for the title. And they put together a fucking pretty damn good fucking trios match. Of course, not 9.5 stars on whatever the fuck cage match like the Young Bucks do, but this is a good fucking match. And Mirai and Suzu Suzuki put together a nice fucking finishing sequence. Once again, Suzu Suzuki looking like a fucking star. It's amazing to me that, as the more we watch her, the more we get to see her against different size, different types of wrestlers. She can wrestle every single fucking style, which is amazing. And I fucking love it. This is a great fucking match. And after the match, real quick, they do a press conference backstage, and Queen's Quest comes in. And Queen's Quest being Saya Kamitani. Well, it's actually Utami, who was on commentary, came out. She's like, me, Saya, and Azumi are going to challenge you for the title. So there you go. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, she's fucking Connor McDavid. She showed up at 19 years old and's got it all figured out. She's got the league on lock pretty much. Suzuki looked pretty good here. I think I avoided the trios in any promotion for the most part. This wasn't an entertaining trios match. So I'm thankful that I skipped a lot of it because this was a good one. I was able to enjoy this. I would say probably the best part of this trios match was an extended was Suzuki and Mirai sequence
Yeah.
to at the back end of this, and I think that kind of sums up my feelings about trios, where the best part of it was just when they kind of it was deduced to a singles match for the highlights of it, but good stuff.
Yeah, Chris.
Now you guys took my point. I mean, the whole thing I just said was just Suzuki. Whenever she comes into the ring, it's like
you were going to say she was Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid. I was going to say she was Connor McGregor.
There you go.
Connor McDavid was going to show up to WrestleMania a few years ago. That's it. That's all I got. I mean, you guys said it. You said it all. My whole comment, my notes just said Suzuki. She just like, it's one of these ones that just kind of makes everything. I said this before. I always say this, like, you know, Cena, we just mentioned him, but Cena disappears. And then like, I hated him for years. And then when he's not around, he comes back and you're like, oh, okay. Like this guy really knows what he's doing. Like this guy, like everything kind of seems better when he's around, you know? And, same thing with Suzuki, even though they don't really need somebody like that. It's almost like, oh, wow, yeah, this shit's going to be fucking great now.
Here's what I would say. This is my final thought. You don't have to go back to me. The match was good enough that I was on eBay looking at Suzuki rookie cards.
Hell yeah.
Jimmy got me into this world, but these fucking nerds, man, this shit is expensive. It's like $170 to get one. I already missed the fucking boat.
Yeah, you got to get them when they
just trade them some Funko Pops.
I'm a big
I got a whole box of them.
It's fun. I was trying to buy low, but dude, $200 is high.
I got 2 boxes of them. I got to open. I'm gonna open another box tonight.
Unopened packs?
Yeah, hold on, I'll grab it.
Yeah, grab a pack. Fucking stretch this out as long as humanly possible. Let's go. Make sure you make it a lot. Oh, he's got to make sure he makes a lot of like crinkling noises for when he, you know, for just the audio listeners. You're muted, Brandon.
There it is.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. Cool. Unopened. There she is right there. Suzuki. Got him right.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll see what I get. I'm stoked. I love these things. It's fun, man. It's cathartic. Just peel them open, put them in their little packs. Big bucks, brother. I got that Yuki Arai signed one. 1 in 30 in the world. Paid.
Trade them for neon androids.
I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna put them in a neon android account. I'm gonna sell them and put that shit in my IRA. All right. So we are Stardom. We are Stardom. What am I talking about? We are Stardom is a good show. Cinderella tournament. First round is on the 26th. Second round is on the April 1st. That's probably a lie because it's April Fool's Day. Quarterfinals on the 2nd, and the semifinals and finals are on the 15th of April. 10-minute time limit. Win via pin, submission, DQ, count out, or over the top rope. We get everybody, all the usual suspects in this. Bunch of matchups. We get 2 X's. Unnamed opponents. I'm not sure who they're going to be. So that's exciting. And there you go.
Hold on. I put my microphone on I put my elbow on my rickety ass setup and my microphone powered off. So I missed you pulling that box up, but let's open a pack or two. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, man. Here we go. All right. My hand's clean enough? I think so. Let's see what I got. You guys talk while I open this.
He's got it. So Jimmy's immediately had a knife. He was prepared for this. Of
course. And I'm leaning right back and going on my phone.
That's fine. Interested I am.
All right. I won't do it.
No. Go ahead. I'm only kidding.
Let's see if we hit something here.
See what I got. Unboxing vid. It's open. See what I got.
Are they just a bunch of packs in there?
Yeah.
How many cards are in a pack?
10, 30 cards, 10 in a pack. 30 packs, 10 in a card. All right, let's crack one open.
10 in the card.
30 packs.
10 cards in a pack, 30
packs. Cards and packs.
Okay, so we're walking away with 300 Stardom cards.
I already see.
It's good value.
There's no Stardom in here.
Excuse me.
All the companies but Stardom. Stardom does not. Stardom is owned by a company that sells things like this. They're not going to let somebody else make that money. I got a
Clarification.
couple rookie cards. Let's see what I got. Nothing good. So let's see. How many are in a pack? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 in a pack. 30 packs. I'll open 3. We'll see if I get anything worth money.
Let's go bottom of the box, top left.
Okay, bottom box, top left. Suzume.
It's something good.
Karagi. We know her.
All right.
Hey, there's a Makido variant.
Look at that.
All right. Top right. All right. Bottom of the box. It's the last one I'm opening. Because unless you can see it, and if you're listening, this probably fucking stinks. Saki, we know her. We're
driving the people to YouTube.
Aja Kong, Kiku from Ice Ribbon, Mizuki, Yuri. I don't even have to look them up. I know who all these motherfuckers are. There you go.
Good.
I didn't get any big cards yet.
We'll report back next week with what came out of the box. But
I will. I'll put it. I already got the highest end card once. So let's get a second one.
thank you for obliging, Jim. We'll speed through your expensive purchase that many people would love to see, so we can bullshit about this stuff that we talked about 100 times before. All right, what do we got?
Let's see real quick. I got the Yokohama show. Do have what we have so far. Okay, so April 23rd, it's the All-Star Grand Queendom at Yokohama Arena. Here's the matches that we know we have. We got Siri versus Chihiro Hashimoto. We get Himika's retirement match, which is Himika versus Maika. Wonder of Stardom title match, Saya Kamitani versus Mina Shirakawa. Saya's finally losing. And the World of Stardom title match. Stipulations haven't been set yet, but there's something on the line. Julia versus Tom Nakano. Brandon, does this excite you yet? You're on mute, brother.
It does, yeah. Those final two really excite me. Mina Shirakawa getting that revenge. Poor placement by Hazuki. She deserved to win, in my opinion, but Mina Shirakawa's getting this belt. And then Julia, let's fucking go. That's a big final match.
Let's do this. Chris, final thoughts.
All right, sounds exciting. Something to watch. Doesn't take much to get me going with Stardom these days. So
Boned up. All right,
this was nice this week. We had two things to watch.
We did. Next week we're gonna have New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Cup, and that's all you have to watch. I'm not watching anything else but that. I don't want to watch anything else. AEW Revolution 2023, live from San Francisco, California, where children are getting tequila spilled all over them. The internet is outraged by such heelery. Let's talk about the card. Guys ready?
Should we just talk about that now?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Here we go.
This is the match of the night. 0 Hour, the Lucha Brothers. All right. I'm going to move on.
I was upstairs. I didn't watch any of this crap.
I skipped the buy-in.
Why? All right, singles match. JAS was not allowed at ringside until Sammy Guevara just came to ringside. And then actually Andretti intercepted him from nowhere. Ricky Starks defeats Chris Jericho in 13 minutes and 49 seconds. Brandon?
Chris Jericho is 52 years old, and he's fully in the stage of his career where he wants to say, yeah, I had a match on a pay-per-view with X guy that probably will be a big deal in 15 years, and it extends his legacy. Watching that happen isn't necessarily entertaining. It's more just for his own personal bookkeeping, but it wasn't bad.
Chris?
I mean, I don't know how true that is. We're just assuming that. Yeah, who gives a shit?
We spoke to Chris Jericho right after he left the Capitol.
And
This is what he said.
Well, what do these guys do when they're old? They're like, I want to wrestle. They have a hit list of guys they want to have a match with. And it feels like Chris Jericho's checking those boxes off in his 50s here.
Yeah. Still better than most of the dudes on that fucking roster.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Hey, we were toting how good he looks
Yeah, he went
What, like
downhill
a few
real
months? He
quick.
looks like
real
shit
crap.
again.
Yeah, he don't
He
give a
looks like
fuck.
shit again.
He looks like a fucking old man, dude.
The
He
cruise, dude.
legit looked every day at 52.
It's his post cruise.
Yeah.
Carb loading on the cruise.
He had like pin
Empty
arms.
carbs. Yeah, he looked like shit.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
This is
And
fun though.
I mean, I like Ricky Starks, and it's not. I'm gonna make. We talked about. I already said this. We'll make this point later, but I mean, Jericho's. Nobody looks bad in there with Jericho, so he can make anything entertaining. So I didn't mind this, and it was a good way to start the pay-per-view. Get the old man out of the way. To go home, go to bed.
Pulled a signed Makito.
His night's wrapped up in time for cocktail hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Ric Flair like.
You did one interesting thing that I noticed, and it's these Jericho matches. Man, he has no problem these days just giving out orders in the ring, telling people what to do when. Like he's just not even hiding it. There's no.
Nope. He don't give a fuck.
Like there was the whole thing with Ricky Starks and him were in the corner, while Sammy Guevara and Action Andretti were fighting on the ramp. So you got the referee. She's standing there and she's doing the whole "I'm distracted" referee gimmick. And Ricky Starks kind of just like taking too long. And Chris Jericho's like, "Go over there." So he starts walking over there. Then the bat that comes out of nowhere shows up and he cracks him with the bat. Interesting. Okay, match. Next up.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
In 2023, I'm going to go back on what I said. In 2023, if you have to use a ref distraction like that as a finish, you fucking lost. Sorry. It's bad. Every time a ref gets distracted in any match anymore, my immediate response is, "Oh God," immediately.
Would that include the main event tonight?
Dude, and 2 ref distractions in one fucking match and 1 pay-per-view.
Final thoughts, Brandon?
Yeah, rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. What do I got next?
The final burial match. Jack Perry defeats Christian Cage in a cut-off sleeve tank top. Brandon, go ahead.
I hope this isn't the last of Christian, because I thought he did a similar match to the previous one, but a little more discreet and more entertaining. As soon as I saw Jack Perry with that belt, I'm like, why the fuck is he wearing a belt? He gets strangled with the belt. Of course, that was one of my favorite spots of this. And we get a very expedited casket explosion into the ground. What it looked like. Which, I mean, that's exactly why the 3 of us watch this stuff. Just for moments like that.
So fast and so funny. I was in fucking tears at how fast it was. I was like, oh, somebody got hurt.
It was like,
right.
I was thinking about how they rigged that up, that it fell so fast. Like, what?
In keeping up with modern TikTok / Instagram Reels vids, like, they want to be like hip for the kids these days. When that casket hit the ground, it should have went.
Added part always make me pop, man. I really like this match. I don't know about you guys. I fucking laughed my ass off at this match. I thought it was fantastic. Brandon?
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, first of all, casket match is so late. It's so like early 90s WCW and Undertaker. That's all it is. If you're especially after all the ones that the Undertaker has done, I don't think you can do a casket match ever again, especially when neither of the people involved are evil, like, satanic evil, or mystical or magical or dead or skeletons or fucking anything like that. They're like, there's no, why, how do we get here? Like, unless you're throwing Kamala into a casket, I don't, what the fuck are we doing? Like, seriously, like, oh, let's go back. Let's do a casket match. And they haven't done that since 1993. I mean, Christ, no, they buried AJ Styles. I mean,
yeah, it came back the next week.
It's such a WWE thing. I think that they should have just fucking. I don't understand it. Like,
well, that's kind of what's
come up with anything
fun.
Better.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, but that's kind of why I laughed at it, because it's just, it's such a bad idea that it almost just becomes a good idea in a weird way. Like when you're watching it.
Listen. I'm not saying I hated it. What I'm saying is that you're trying to separate yourself as a company and like have some kind of legitimacy, if that's possible, for a pro wrestling company.
Yeah, you couldn't have
Why
done
the
it
fuck?
any
Like
less.
seriously, like look at us. We're the alternative. We're different. We're not WWE. We're a place where the wrestlers matter. Let's do the match that the biggest dude, one of the biggest dudes in WWE history, is known for. It's just fucking like who
And to put
okayed
that,
that?
and to put that in the 2-hole, that's like when you're playing WWE GM mode for too long, and you're like, "Yeah, let's do a casket match second."
So bad. But
He was
he fell.
sending him back to he was sending him back to go meet his dead father. It was insane. This match is amazing. I loved it.
Second all, bat number 2 casket match.
Someone may
Jack Perry
die
is
tonight.
dead.
Meanwhile, after this, more importantly, a 4-team battle royal.
If I thought that they did that on purpose, it wouldn't be as good. But I know that they just organically that's how it settled out, and that makes it so much funnier.
All right, final thoughts, Chris.
More packs over there? Or you just shuffling it?
Oh, I'm ripping through packs right now. Chris, final thoughts?
What are we talking about? I had a little technical issue.
Let's
we
move
talking
on.
about the
Jack Perry versus Christian Cage.
No. The one after that. That was the big tag team match.
All right, now let's go. Now, AEW Trios title match. The House of Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black with Julia Hart defeat the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson with Brandon Cutler and MT Nakazawa. 17 minutes and 48 seconds. And we get a title change. No belts on the House of Black. Brandon, thoughts? Other way around. No belts on the Elite. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to see some trios depth to this division, if this is what they're going to do. Because right now it's just kind of like was who their the Elite are facing, and I think this might get us there. I don't even know that I mean that I would like to see that because I don't like watching trios matches. But I'm like, okay, cool, new faces here.
Chris?
The first thing I noticed about this is we were watching, and it's, one of the, I know I've complained about this in the past, but like, when are the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega? I'm assuming they're not going to be doing the trios Elite thing, right? I always have, I don't really love Kenny Omega, but now that when you find out that he's like actually probably a really decent human being, it's kind of hard to hate him. The one thing that I think it's like what drives me so crazy about him, and I really realized it during this match when they all came out, is do they need all the fucking gimmicks? Because those 3 guys that come out there with them, they're gimmicks, right? This is like early DDP in WCW with sunglasses and a cigar, chewing gum and a big hat, a fur coat, and 2 girls on each arm and not getting over. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't make any, like, it's like, hasn't enough wrestling happened over the course of like the last however many years to show you that this is just, you're going to stalemate with your fan base and you're going to get to that plateau level because you're doing all this dumb shit. And it's like, it doesn't really get over with other people other than the people that really love you. It's just distracting. They have you had 6 men in the ring. Right? You had another 4 people outside of the ring. And then 2 spray cans getting sprayed all over the place and a guy in Zubaz sweatsuit and the same guy in his Zubaz sweatsuit. So think of all the things that are distracting from what's going on in the ring. There's like 12, 13 things going on outside for you to pay attention to. That's one of the greatest things about Sting with Darby Allin. Sting comes in, he walks up, he fist bumps him, he gets the fuck out of there, or he stands at ringside and doesn't do shit. I don't know, man. Look, I'm glad that the House of Black actually are doing something. And honestly, I'm glad that, if you're gonna break up, you're gonna break not break up the Elite, but break up the Elite holding the 6-man title and being roped into that, and you can give them other things to do. You can put Kenny Omega in the main title slot, if he can fight for the main title, that would be great. Because like I said, I always shit on Kenny Omega, but now I realize that he's actually a decent human being. I have a hard time not liking him. Even the Young Bucks, when they're in great matches, they're great. But that's all I got. I got an animal eating some sort of receipt on the ground. I'm gonna go handle.
Chris, Brandon, thoughts? Final thoughts.
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts. One, I never thought Kenny Omega was a bad person. I kind of always felt like if he had one strength, it was that he was into representing female wrestling and those things. I still don't like him, so I'm not with Chris on that.
Well, hold on. Let me just real quick. I never thought he was a bad person. I just never knew that he was a good person. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not. I never shit on him for being an awful human being. But even when he's got that smug, swollen face look that he has, when he's looking at Will Ospreay, like here's whispering things to the ether.
He was whispering again. He was talking to the camera with no sound again.
Yeah, that's what he
does.
does.
What I'm trying to say is that while I see that as a positive thing, it feels like it's an obvious thing, and the fact that everybody else isn't there and he is doesn't deserve a pat on the back to him. And I still am just annoyed with it.
Gotcha.
If that makes more sense.
Couldn't everybody else be better?
It's just like, oh, you said the thing.
Giving
that
the guy credit for
everybody
doing what he should do. I'm sorry, Brandon.
Right.
Talked all over you.
Right. Two, I can't for the life of me.
Bring that back. What was that?
That's a Raku Checky.
That's
Polaroid.
like a Polaroid sign.
Yeah, it's a little mini Polaroid.
Unique. And she wrote a lot of shit on there.
She did. It's one of 10 in the world.
Look at that.
In the universe,
pretty cool,
actually.
Right? They're pretty cool.
It's probably one of 10 in the universe.
I've never seen that before. The
pretty neat.
So keep going. The second thing is, for the life of me, I can't wrap my head around why these guys won't drop these gimmicks. It's just, I find it like almost insulting. It's like, do you want to be Gallagher at 70 years old smashing watermelons? Because there's like a small portion of fans that still find it like charming and kitschy. At the best case scenario, it will come back around at some point and be charming, which I'm sure it will to a group of people. But if that's the best that you can do, and you're an EVP at this company, which they still are, I just find that very disappointing. But we've talked about that 100 times over.
Yeah.
One more quick point to what you were saying, and it just reminded me. So when I was a kid, Jimmy and I were kids, we used to watch UWF on Channel 57 in Philadelphia, right? And they had a guy by the name of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and he was this big bruiser guy who would just go in and just clobber the shit out of people. And he tackled guys with a 3-point stance, and he was stiff as fuck and tough as nails. And then he came to WWE, and they gave him a 2x4 and a 2x4 and a fucking flag and a fucking thumb and his tongue sticking out, the crown at one point. Guess what? He fucking sucked. That's it.
So how would you relate that to this?
The gimmicks.
Yeah.
You know, the gimmicks. I'm just saying the gimmicks. It just takes away from the skill. You know, these guys are just like just characters with no with like they're working. Because I'm going to contradict myself. Character work is very important, but there's no depth to what they're doing.
It's not relatable. It's not anything. It's just like a cartoon. Like a shit cartoon. It's fucking Scott Adams, dude. It's still little Dilbert.
Fucking Dilbert. Racist ass Dilbert.
Why, is Dilbert a racist?
Oh, yeah. Scott Adams went on a little rant.
Ooh, I'm going to Google this while you talk because I had no idea.
All right, so
it's a whole rabbit hole.
Guys, I really like this match. But
Why'd you like it?
I will say this. I thought it was fantastic. I thought that House of Black looked fucking awesome in it. Especially Brody King. And Malachi Black. And Kenny Omega looked great. Buddy Matthews is non-existent. Okay, so last week, to build to this match, the Jackson Bros and Kenny Omega got attacked on the ramp by these guys, right? The first thing that Matt Jackson is doing when he gets in the ring is some jokey ha 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 stuff with Brody King. Like, I'm scared of him. Ha, 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 ha. Let me get out of here. Dude. I'm not gonna shit on it. I really enjoyed this match, but I am totally on board with it. It's the Young Bucks in particular. They're two-dimensional.
Yep.
And those two dimensions are poop and stink.
And that's coming from a trio's head after the Triangle
I am a
Derby.
trios man.
No, and I didn't hate this match either.
No, I really enjoyed it.
To be 100% honest.
No, it was, they cheated. The bad guys cheated to win, and it was good. I liked it.
I hated it. I didn't like it at all. I just thought it was boring, dude. I just don't want to see him anymore. There's nothing that could happen within the ring with those guys.
Okay, so in your mind, do you turn off the switch, the pay attention switch, when you see the Elite?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I watched.
Like by a mile. Like it's
right.
Not like there's been months and months and months where I went through the act of I don't like them, but I should try to watch them. And the wall has been broken, dude. The pens are full. The pee is soaking into the mattress. I'm not interested.
All right. There's no convincing you. I'm not going to try to convince you. Whatever you are into, whatever you are into. But I thought the match itself was entertaining. The Young Bucks, though, come on, man.
Yeah, but, Brandon turns off his mind when the Elite come on, and unless it's $50 turn off the TV.
Ooh, look at that variant. That's my last card. Hiroyo Matsumoto.
Ooh, that's.
Did you open that whole box?
Yeah, box is gone.
Man,
banged them out. I got a bunch of signatures and shit.
Give me some more boxes. I need more boxes.
Oh, I still got to sort them.
I got to go on eBay.
I got to still sort them and bag them. Look, there's fucking a lot of work.
Isn't that so fun? Open up those.
It really is,
dude.
The box like that's at the store with the back popped and the packs in it.
That's it. This pops up. It's pretty cool, man. This is like
so satisfying.
Yeah.
I take all these guys out behind me. I dust them. I clean off the shelves. I put them back a little bit better every time, so they get more space and they fit in there better. Yeah, it's wonderful. I usually like listen to some music while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing this right, but yeah, this pops up. There you go. That was fun. All right, next up, AEW Women's World Title match. Jamie Hayter, champ, defeats Saraya, and Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho turns evil. I didn't hate this match. I thought this was very good. This was definitely a Jamie Hayter carry job, man. Saraya stinks, and Ruby Soho is so slow. Why are you wearing combat boots in the ring if you can't run in them? Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, no, you pretty much nailed it. Saraya, I would say stinks is almost an understatement. I thought she broke someone's neck there for a minute. But like, as I know, this is a common theme in AEW, for better or for worse. I've almost been desensitized to the AEW neck drops, but there was a pretty ugly one in here that I don't know got the heat that it deserved. Jamie Hayter with a just big fat pin to seal the deal. Nice.
I was a big fan of the. She broke up the one pinfall by giving double lariats, sliding double lariats.
Yeah,
that was fucking awesome. She rules. Chris, thoughts?
No, I enjoyed this. I agree with you. I said it last week. I think I don't know. I say it all the time. I don't think Saraya at any point in her career was really good.
What it was she was really good when no one else was good in WWE.
Yeah, the bar was very low,
and the bar was you could trip over it. Like a fucking landmine.
She also looked completely different than everybody that they had up until that point for years.
Right. You're talking Drew McIntyre Claymore?
Yes, that kind. That's really high. He's tall.
But
yeah, we get some more story though. Ruby Soho is part of the Mean Girls. I'm okay with it. She's not doing anything.
There was also some other story going on in that match.
What was that?
And it was something in fishnets.
Oh God, fucking
jiggling entire time.
It was real cool.
Yeah, it was pretty. That was pretty damn cool.
Final thoughts on that, Brandon?
No, I'm good.
Texas death match. Adam Page defeats Jon Moxley when Jon Moxley accidentally hangs himself over the top rope. This match was fucking awesome. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, they really put on. I mean, we went all around the world here. There was moments where I loved it. There's moments where I was like, I don't think I need to see this. I'll pause and let it go to Chris. I might need to collect myself for this one.
Chris, go ahead.
So I'm going to lead in with I really like this match. I'm not shitting on this match at all. I want to ask an honest question. First of all, who was the heel in this match?
Jon Moxley.
Okay. Was John Moxley, and this is an honest question because there's been a lot of watching of AEW, skimming through AEW. It hasn't been good for a couple weeks. Some of the shows were atrocious. There's been a lot of watching it at work and not having audio. Was this John Moxley, Adam Page thing? How did we get to a Texas death match? Because it seems like
that's a great question.
That's a pretty good question.
Now, I'm just saying that. Is it because John Moxley was just like, fuck you, this is what I do and this is what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, so that I can kind of buy that. But like, isn't this like we've been fucking dancing around each other and dastardly shit's been going on?
We talked about this last week.
Yeah. I mean, like, also,
if he was that good, Chris, if John Moxley was that good, wouldn't you set that up for 2 months and make it that evil? That it deserved this, a fork to the forehead for 2 straight minutes.
Well, here's the thing too. The Texas death match,
I'm just asking a question. It's just a question.
the Texas death match is something that the baby face invokes because the heel has been being such a piece of shit that I'm going to get you in this fucking match and I'm going to pay you back for everything you've done to me over X amount of time. Right? The steel cage was a match because the heel kept doing shit and getting away. And it happened so many times that I'm going to lock you in a metal fucking box with me. And you're not getting the fuck out of this. The baby face is who is supposed to initiate this shit. It doesn't, look, not complaining about the match. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like really any of this shit anymore. It's a fucking chore to watch. I can't fucking stand any of them or anybody that talks about it, including myself.
All right.
Take it easy.
But I enjoyed this match. I'm just curious as to, like, couldn't you have drawn more out of this story? Because where do you go from here? I just
nowhere.
Like I've been such an asshole that you, the good guy, that he, good guy, has to talk to me, bad guy, into getting into this Texas death match, and then me, bad guy, gets what he deserved at the end of it. He got hung. He hung himself by a rope, and then attacked a poor Jane for no fucking reason.
That was awesome.
There would be no world where Adam Hangman Page. I mean, maybe there would be, right? You could do whatever you want in pro wrestling, but it would make less sense for Adam Hangman Page to force John Moxley into a Texas death match.
Well, it would if Dastardly Mox was being a dastardly guy for like a year.
But he's fairly noble, right? He's kind of supports. He's the backbone of the program.
Well,
so him wanting to force Page there would work. But who forced anyone there? That's the question. It just happened.
It's like, man, we got a pay-per-view. You know what's a good idea? Blood. Okay, let's
Caskets, go. Texas death.
Caskets,
just hit all the
blood again. Blood time. I think FDR was bleeding. Everybody was bleeding in this fucking thing.
FDR was an accident. That fucking
still
bald. FDR bald. I love this match. This match is awesome. It made it onto my favorite matches of the year list. I fucking loved it. Bleed more, please. And I especially liked, but the camera missed it, was John Moxley, who was supposed to be choked out. The doc, Chris mentioned it. The doctor was checking on him, and he started attacking the doctor like in the UFC, where the guy, or whatever, MMA, where a guy's knocked out and then he goes after the referee, like he's still awake. And then we missed it all because then the Blackpool Combat Club came down and helped John Moxley out of the ring and walked him back through the crowd. We missed some stuff. Yeah, I think
value at its finest with AEW.
Yeah. Actually, it looked pretty good. One thing I wanted to mention, and we didn't talk about the pre-show. The pre-show fucking sucked. They had one match. It was nice to see Mark Briscoe out there. But then they had it was all comedy segments and shit. It was fucking awful.
I got an even better one for you.
Yo.
Fucking Renee Paquette talking into the microphone where the audience could hear it. So at home you got an echo.
The audience couldn't hear it. Nobody even knew she was there. Nobody was responding.
Really? Because it sounded like it was coming through the fucking stadium.
It's fucking weird, man.
And then there was a dude behind her, like,
I did see that, and then he asked him to sit down.
Guy was and he kept doing it. I was like, I'm sitting there like, dude, it ain't me doing security, because he turned around and was going to the camera. I would have grabbed him and thrown him right the fuck out.
If it was me on security, I would have jumped. I would have grabbed somebody's tequila and threw it on him. All right, next up. Anyway, I like the match. Best of the year. Thank you.
I don't disagree with
AWT.
you.
What's that?
I don't disagree with that. It was fun.
No, I don't disagree with it at all.
Listen, guys, we complain about John. We complain about AEW. I've come to the conclusion. This is what it is. And
Shit.
it's either accept it or just not watch. You know what I mean? Like, it's insanity. None of it makes sense. Builds are like a month.
I'm just talking.
And then we get forks. We get forks in the head. Even though, they hate each other so much that Renee Paquette's like, oh, I just want my husband out of this because it's really obnoxious. I can't stand it. I hate seeing him do this. And
It's just strange. It's just strange to like a lot. Let me try to put this well. If a pay-per-view, you're kind of getting the cake at the end of the meal, which is the 3 months of watching the show, right? And that's the icing on the cake, and they've certainly got all the icing, but you're like you stick your fork in there and it's like a styrofoam box, and you're like, what did they make though? What was this about? What am I trying to ingest here? You don't really know, but you're like, there's certainly all of the icing on the outside. I don't know if that made any sense at all or not. It's kind of how it feels.
Chris,
there's a King of Queens episode where they have to make a cake for a bake sale and they can't fucking do it, so they just they put icing on a couch cushion.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What are you talking about? The internet said it was the best fucking pay-per-view in history. All right, next up. AEW TNT title match. Wardlow defeats Samoa Joe.
Wardlow changed his gear and his ass was shaved. Let's go.
Also, yeah. They had Wardlow. They had a red hot dude, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that dude was like, people were cheering for him. They were going crazy. And then he's going, I don't know if he got hurt or what, but he's a dud. And then we get Powerhouse Hobbs versus him this week. Any thoughts, Brandon?
No, I mean, I hope this felt like a bigger deal live than it did on TV.
It didn't sound like it.
No.
Nobody gave a shit.
No.
Samoa Joe's kind of built for those moments with those giant horns as he walks out and those ridiculous shorts, and okay, someone's gonna get their ass beat. I
don't know. Maybe just Samoa Joe just works better against smaller guys or something like that. It just seemed like, I don't know. I never thought that Samoa Joe was winning this match. I don't know.
Well, I would assume, yeah. I mean, they got their own show now.
Yep, Ring of Honor.
So,
did either of you guys purchase the Honor Club and watch Ring of Honor?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did?
No.
You had my whole family. I got the family pass.
I got 5 add-ons to that. You guys can watch it every week.
It's like Disney. I got the Speed Pass. I get to watch it as it's filming.
Yeah.
I paid $30. All right, next
up, tickets.
AEW World Tag Team 4-way match, which is on a card with a death match and a fucking coffin match. The Guns defeated the Acclaimed, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. I gotta say, I did get a big kick out of fucking the Guns and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett in this match. I thought they were pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I almost forgot about this, but just talking about the thematic planning of this whole thing and how odd it was. We're after a Texas death match, we're getting a big pop for Jeff Jarrett doing some shit that I haven't seen him do since 1999 when he's a small chuck.
He's still abusing women and shit. Dude, it's great. I love it.
It was fucking wild. Satnam Singh's in there with a turban on.
Yeah, he looked great.
Flip people over the ring. Just it's very, very pro wrestling, very strange, very fun. Maybe the cherry on top of this ridiculous styrofoam cake that I'm building in my head.
One thing that I did like about this, and I've said this before about how I enjoy live professional wrestling more than television professional wrestling, as in like AEW Dynamite, Raw, SmackDown, is that this card definitely had that like circus atmosphere, a little bit of everything. We get the death matches, the blood. We got 2 bloody matches. We get the goofy ass fucking Guns match. Like, this was all over the place, this show, which I enjoyed. Chris, good.
I have 2 words to describe this match.
Here we go.
Turban insecurity. Everybody's turban was falling off their head.
Anyway, they're constantly fixing them.
Why weren't they just letting them fall off their head?
I don't know.
This was good. I like this. I like the Guns as the tag team champions.
Total weasels.
Yeah, let's get into the point I was going to make earlier. Really, at this point, I don't give a fuck about these matches anymore. I want the stories and the characters to be entertaining. And that's where I get lost. I don't give a shit about the matches. I do when, like, I can enjoy watching a good wrestling match. Like you just said, like, it's like going to an indie show. It's like, you're going to get this stuff and it's a lot of fun to go. And you can put these fun little spots or these fun big spots or Texas death matches, which are all blood. And you could throw them in there and they're entertaining. But to me, it's like, I want these guys to tell stories, and I like the Weasley bad guys. I don't give a shit if they're shitty wrestlers. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? Who cares if they're fucking Billy Gunn's kids? Because that's where I'm sure a lot of the hate for them comes. You fucking only there because Billy Gunn's kid. Hashtag nepotism. I don't fucking know. I enjoyed this match. I liked everything about it. I love old man Jeff Jarrett in there with his fucking shitty ass fucking goatee. Fucking looks ridiculous.
Earlier, I said that Jeff Jarrett is still abusing women. That's awesome. Please don't cut that out and use it against me. I don't know, man.
Cut it out.
Yeah, just cut it. Just like every time I do something, just play it back real slow.
It is. This would be like the best indie show. Like maybe we're just. I don't know.
I've changed my mindset in viewing this stuff.
I can tell.
Right. I'm not. I went in this with the most negative attitude, and I did not want to watch it. I actually fell asleep at one point where my wife had to wake me up.
I was so fucking jealous of you that you fell asleep.
I was gassed. I fell asleep. And I ended up enjoying this. I got a big giggle out of it.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Brandon, I believe I said this to you Saturday night. I hated karaoke when I used to cover Saturday nights. And then I told myself, maybe I didn't say it to you, I said it to somebody else. I told myself, you got to work Saturday nights. You better learn to love it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I just need to watch it go, this is so fucking bad, and just laugh at everything and enjoy it. So I will make a proclamation from this day forth. I will watch AEW with different eyes.
It's, it's a situation also for our own personal enjoyment. Like, if we are going to review AEW and keep reviewing AEW and people want to tune in to listen to us talk about AEW, it's going to be hell on earth if we don't try. We just change our mindset a little bit. And it took me a while to do it. And I think I've finally done it where I just go, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Why is that guy doing that? Oh, there's that big security guard again. Like that, when that dude shows up, I'm like, yay, there he is.
The guy
bald guy with the
Pandora bracelet.
Yeah.
Fucking charm bracelet he's wearing.
Like, I'm just like kind of get a kick out of how fucking weird and stupid it is. Dude, fucking Taz saying barbed wire instead of barbed wire. He just kept saying barbed wire. I was laughing my ass off. Taz is great.
I don't know that it's ever not been that for me. I mean, it's a fine line, it's week to week. So we'll see.
Sometimes it's, we've said it, it's fucking awful. It's really hard. But you're not going to hit all the time.
I think I'm still somewhat dumbfounded by the decisions that they make, and I should probably just get over that. Is what you're saying.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what it is. We don't want it to be WWE, and it isn't. It's not. They have death matches with fast moving caskets. They have it's kind of goofy, and we got to I think we got to.
I feel like Lloyd Christmas at the end of Dumb and Dumber when he's like, that bus pulls up, like when he started this, that bus pulls up and they're like, where's the hot bikini competition? I'm like, okay, cool. There's finally a bus going the other way. We get on that bus and then it's just also going the wrong direction. We're just like, what the fuck? Is anybody going somewhere normal? It's like, it's the path is right in front of everyone, but this is what we're doing. You're right.
Also, After the match, the Guns say, "Who's got the balls to challenge us?" Boom, 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 boom. FDR comes out. Bald FDR cuts himself somehow. And that's the next challengers. Go ahead, Brandon. Thoughts? Listen, you know what's kind of fun?
Cuts himself
somehow. They, the whole fucking thing was that they were going to leave. They're leaving for WWE. They ain't going nowhere. We said it. They weren't going anywhere. You fucking dopes. They ain't going nowhere. Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh,
go ahead, Chris.
No, I was going to say, why were they saying that? Because they were dropping all the titles?
That, and because the bald one has a really bad podcast where he just talks shit on everybody. It's not good. It's just shitty.
Who, me?
Who? Talk shit on you? You're the bald one? Bald.
Yeah,
bald.
I'm the bald one with the shitty podcast where I talk
shitty podcast. That's all of us. Different varying hairs. There you go. Thoughts on FTR? You excited?
As he's filing his cards away, sleeving them all up one by one.
I'm almost there. I'm halfway through. The time that we've been covering this, this is how many I'm sleeved.
This is your autism stimming, dude. You're stimming.
There you go. Am I autistic?
No, this happened. I don't know.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. All right.
I'm gonna be like Mongo on Raw Nitro. That little dog he had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be
Chihuahua?
like now. I'm
gonna
be
Chihuahua.
like now Mongo.
Oh God, corpse Mongo. His dog's still alive, waiting for him to die so he can eat his eyeballs out. AEW World Title match, 60-minute Iron Man match. MJF defeats Bryan Danielson. Here you go. Let's run down the pinfalls. Ready? Danielson pins MJF. 25 minutes. MJF dick kicks Danielson and pins him real quick. Then he pins him again at 40 minutes. MJF submits. And then Danielson submits at the end in overtime. Brandon, I'll let you go first.
So you guys go. My takes are now out of style since I was frustrated with the match.
That's right. Good. Okay, I'll go first. I love that the disqualification quick pins. That was great. I also like that. In these Iron Man matches, sometimes they get too high in the count with pinfalls, and they do this weird thing where it's like, this is a title match, and we know that title matches between very good professional wrestlers are going to go 25 minutes, 30 minutes. We're used to that with New Japan Pro Wrestling. They go 40 minutes, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they wait till the 25th minute before we get the first pinfall. And MJF cheating and then real quick pinning him was fucking great. I thought that was fantastic. And it kind of built to, as they wore down, the bleeding, and they were starting to wear down. I thought this is a fucking good match. This is very good. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, I like this. I'm not going to complain about it. You get a victory for the bad guy the way the bad guy wins matches. So yeah, this was enjoyable. The only question I have, well, I was watching it with a friend of mine. We were sitting here and I'm like, they better come out on Sunday night or Wednesday night and say, we found out that he had steroids in the water. Because they kept talking about him drinking water.
Yeah.
He kept getting the bottle of water and drinking out of it. We've drug tested. USADA stepped in. They drug tested MJF. And he was using drugs to keep himself going. And the water was drugged. It was spiked with, considering John Jones fought on Saturday night, maybe they can use some, he was taking boner pills with steroids in them. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Whatever the fuck they were going to do.
What's the shit that
something to happen. I was hoping.
What's the stuff that the cyclists take to, it's like adds more red blood cells or something?
No, they actually take their blood out of their body.
And then add something to it and pump it back into them? Go ahead.
So I was hoping, the only thing that I thought that I was hoping that at some point, if they had some good, like some good effects guy or some good guy who can kind of shit on the live end, have him like get kicked in the gut and
throw it all up,
come out in the middle of the fucking ring. That would
they mentioned it too. They mentioned it. They were like, I forget, it was Taz that said it.
Taz.
Like, he should be just rinsing it out of his mouth. If he's swallowing it, that's not good. It's going to screw him up later on in this long match.
I was just curious as to why did they? So I'm
I
thinking
hope
hopefully
it's
something
good.
comes of
Good
it.
ear. I didn't even think of that.
I was just like, we're watching. I was like, dude, like, I thought that was going to be why he lost, or he was Wednesday. I'm hoping Wednesday. They're like, MJF, we tested the bottles of water that were under the ring, and MJF is now suspended without pay. What? And we're going to have a tournament for the time. And it'll be like, tournament will last 6 fucking months. And but no, I like this. I also, listen, I'm assuming that he's doing this on purpose, but that fucking spray tan is just getting worse by the second.
It looked awful.
It was so bad.
It was running into his white trunks when he got all bloody.
So bad. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really liked it.
And I like this. Danielson comes to AEW and everybody thinks he's going to kick ass, and he ain't won a championship yet. He's been there for a while now.
He still put on fantastic matches, but
yeah.
Damn right well, if he was like, yeah, I want to win with the title, they'd be like, okay, let's figure out how to do it.
Let's get you there next pay-per-view.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Can I just ask you guys a genuine question?
Yes.
Did you put your phone down and watch this for 67 minutes?
I did not. Of course not.
No. I fought off sleep.
Okay.
I treated this like I was watching a New Japan show where that the main event's going to go 35 minutes. So you're just like, let me hop on Godzilla Battle Zone real quick and fight some monsters for the first 15 minutes.
No, I will add something, and not to step on you there, Brandon, but the only complaint I have in this match was the infinite pinfalls. I thought that went on a little bit long. It took me out of it. I was like, oh God, that was a reach for your phone moment right there. Where
Attempted pinfalls,
over and over and over and over. It went about double the amount I think it should have, as far as
when are you thinking? What time frame in this match are you saying?
There was what do you mean?
The back
at what point of the match?
Whenever they went through that period where they kept having the attempted pinfalls and failed.
So you're talking about the end of the near.
It was like 35 to 50 minutes. It was
yeah. And it was just it took me out of it. I love Kill Bill. When they go to the anime section of Kill Bill, when they talk about Gojo, Jojo, whatever the hand cleaning lady was, that takes me out of the movie. And this took me out of the match. That's it.
That's why I texted you guys infinite kickouts. I'm just like, okay, what would it take to break one of these guys?
Kick out.
Yeah, I paid attention after the first pinfalls when I really started paying attention.
And also, I think
but there was a quick pin. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a slimy heel that MJF is, maybe it makes him even worse of a human being. He can hang in the ring for fucking 60 minutes with Bryan Danielson.
Well, he was drinking.
That's why it better have been. God, I'm sorry, Brandon.
Yeah, no, I don't have that much to say, to be honest. I think we're pretty much
shit all over it if you want.
Well, I don't really want to. I think we're pretty much on the same page on this card. I just landed on the other side attitude-wise, maybe because I'm sick. I was hyper focused on these corny moments where MJF is yelling, "Dave, is this going to cost me a star?"
I hated that. I did hate that. I am so sick and tired of them breaking the fourth wall. It's so stupid. You know what I mean? Like there's this fine line, and we talked about it last.
Not just breaking the fourth wall, to break it to that guy. It's just like,
there's a fine line where WWE does it, where they ignore the crowd, like they're not there, where you're pretending you're like a high school play, and I can't stand that. But when you're like speaking to the smarks, like, come on, dude, that shit's corny as hell. I agree with you on that one.
I didn't even hear him say it.
Yeah, it was one of these.
Like, frankly, I'm quite disgusted with you, MJF.
He was taking some time. He was taking some time, and he's pretty organic, which is probably his strength. Is that he's confident enough in himself that he can organically react in a moment and give something of value. But for that to be where his head's at is like he's wasting a couple minutes at an Iron Man match, and him to be like, what is Dave Meltzer going to think about this? Honestly, he honestly thought that and mentioned it. I'm like, oh God.
Well, it does kind of play into his whole insecurity as the champ, like his insecure heel thing, where he cares more about what other people think and he doesn't really believe in himself. when baby faces don't really care what anybody thinks. That's why
maybe
they're so
if that wasn't
stupid all the
such
time.
a theme through the show, but
Right.
yeah. You're right, but it's just I don't know. For that guy, it was just bothersome. I'm trying to watch something where like I'm coming off of the night before I watched the mixed martial arts for a couple hours, and it's kind of just always exists in the back of my mind with any fights, which is my own problem. But you watch these things for long enough where you're like, boy, are any of these moves adding up to mean anything to anyone, or what's good? And that very much faded throughout this match. That kind of got on my nerves. And as we discussed the week before, where we were like, a 60-minute Iron Man match is supposed to be, these guys have fought 5 times, and it's just a 2-2 and one draw. Let's settle it out. For them to go to this first out the gate and then have that format not even be able to sort out the match, they have to go to overtime. It's just the self-indulgence to me. I was like, just fuck you. We got to go to 68 minutes to sort these two out.
Also, like, I mean, if you think about these 60-minute or these Iron Man matches in general, I mean, the only one I think that I like more than this one is probably Bayley and Sasha Banks from NXT. Some of them haven't aged all that great. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. But yeah, you're right. It's like if a common sense way to tell a story would be that you have to build to get to this. Well, no.
Brought up
that's one of their biggest problems, I think.
You brought up one of the best ones ever, I think, is that Sasha Banks. It's my favorite of all time.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
And it's freaking, levels above this in storytelling, I think. But
they
went at it for so long.
60. It was 30 minutes. The WWE Iron
that
Man
was the
match.
second one was the Iron Man match. The first one was one where she was stomping on the hand and yes. But look what led to it.
Yep.
That match led to it.
Yeah, they also had a feud for a long time.
Fabuloso.
Yep, good stuff. I don't know. I enjoyed this match. I'm curious what Danielson does after this. Who's next for MJF?
Takes that vacation.
Yeah.
Finally, he's supposed to go on with CM Punk ruined it for everybody.
Just to interject here, I don't want to say that I didn't enjoy it. Like, it was fun. It's probably 42 of those 60 minutes I was glued to the screen, which is a compliment to the match.
60 minutes is a stretch. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to pay attention for
that. Maybe I'm only leaning into my discouraging remarks because you guys had plenty of positive ones. The one main one that I did have, though, is that MJF's kind of fizzled as a character here. He's the always be the worst guy possible heel thing. Would have been a great time to take him off him and have 2 characters look more alive, and that we're not doing that now. What's next for MJF? Maybe CM Punk or getting mad about CM Punk not being there because he can't make enough money. That could be interesting. Danielson now, like Chris said, lost a couple in a row. What's relevant to him now? He looks pretty past his prime. Anderson Silva, 2015, 2018 there. So,
I mean, the only saving grace is he lost this match because he got hit in the head with an oxygen tank. Right. So he doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like he's like, because like they talk about that, and I do agree with it. Like, you can't have eventually the guy that always loses, he comes out and he talks shit or he says whatever, and you're just like, dude, but you're the guy that always loses. It doesn't, they sometimes in pro wrestling, it's almost like they have it in their head that the fan base is going to forget the story. Like it's different books and not different chapters in the same book. Right. Whereas like me as a fan, I remember everything leads up to that story. Right. It's not like, okay, Danielson wrestled MJF and lost, but when he moves on to another storyline, I forget that he lost to MJF. No, I remember that. That's part of the story. That's part of that character's complete character arc. And they have this almost this thing in pro wrestling where it's like, yeah, but that happened before. We don't care about that anymore. They do that. It's just kind of an odd thing.
But there's some guys that are performers or women or, that are invincible and vulnerable to that effect. I think Tom Nakano is one of them, and we just talked about her. She loses all the fucking time. She shows up, you know it's going to be a banger, and you get excited about it. The day she does win, you're going to be you'll blow the fuck up.
Yeah, but Stardom is loaded in depth. Like we just talked about, Hazuki can win a title, and I wouldn't blink an eye. That's not the case with AEW. So there's a few relevant pieces in there, they're not necessarily getting shuffled around. I look at us having to talk to each other for 2 hours every week, and I'm like, oh boy.
You're right. Good point. Any final thoughts on the show, Brandon?
Yeah, right. They're really nailing the indie crowd thing. I definitely could see how you could have fun watching this. I'm not even saying that I didn't have fun watching it, but I think I'm coming from the perspective of someone who has a requirement to do a podcast every 2 weeks that I'm happily signed up for, and I love to do. But I'm like, where does this go? What are we doing here? We'll have to figure some stuff out. But as a night of wrestling, good time.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm with Brandon on that. It was enjoyable. I had a good time watching it. I'm glad I watched it, and that's all we're at.
I hated it all. No, I did like that they compressed it down to less matches. At least it felt like less matches. Less bullshit.
Yeah, there was only that one match, which was the TNT championship match that was kind of like wedged in there.
That was the toilet match, I guess.
Yeah, and that was the toilet match. Other than that, everything was pretty good. Because sometimes, man, you get like, a segment with Smart Mark Sterling in there, and they go. But I honestly, I thought we might end by 11:15, and it ended at 11:45. There's a big fucking difference when you're a tired man.
Yeah, 4 hours. It was 3 hours and 45 minutes. I guess that's pay-per-view length.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Stardom manages to have really good pay-per-views that are done in 3 hours. So, yeah, I don't know. If I was to give it a rating, I would give it 87 out of 124. There you go.
Like that?
There you go. Sounds great.
Yeah. All right, coming out of this, the only thing we have for Dynamite named, we're getting a no DQ match. You ready for this one? Stokely Hathaway versus Hook. Also, we got
that's a great TV match.
That is. It's a great TV match.
TV match.
Beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
TNT title match.
But were you worried? My first thought was, those two are fighting. Who's gonna get disqualified? Like, what the fuck?
Just haven't beat the piss out of him. Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs won the big ass tire, the ass inner tube, and he is facing Wardlow next week or tomorrow for the TNT title. Powerhouse Hobbs winning in his first challenge. Brandon?
He probably should after the flat line there. That will have a relatively exciting card.
Yeah. I mean, we all have, every one of these shows has got to have a worst match, right? That was definitely the worst match. It wasn't terrible. It was just,
I mean, if your worst match is Samoa Joe, it's not that bad, right?
Right. Yeah. Chris, final thoughts on AEW this week?
No, I think I ran my course with my bullshit this week.
Yeah. One point I wanted to make, Bryan Danielson did an interview, and he said that G1 Climax is up in the air. It's up to Tony Khan. He's going to let him go. He said he'd like to go over with the Blackpool Combat Club. He said he's about 33% chance that he's going. In fact, he's talking about it. It's a good sign for G1 Climax.
Cesaro, Tony Lazzoni, Tony Angeloni, Claudio Lasagna.
Yes.
Him in the New Japan ring. I think that's something to be seen.
Claudio Castagnoli.
Claudio
I think that's Lassi Lasagna.
Did anybody have a take on the drink throwing? I really don't.
I don't have a drink. I don't have a take on it.
What happened when he threw the drink on that kid?
Yeah, he grabbed a drink out of the mom's hand and poured it on the kid. It was tequila. They're serving shots of tequila with a straw, apparently, at the venue.
It's not true.
And he, I don't know that it's not.
I can guarantee that kid was a plant. Are you kidding me?
No, definitely was not a plant. He was backstage. They sent out. Now we know what Amanda Huber does for the company. She went out, hung out with the kid, talked to him for a little bit. They brought him backstage. He met all his favorite wrestlers. He got free tickets to the Sacramento show tonight.
Oh, okay.
No, he gets the
That
treat
was
of
your
having to fly, go up to
don't
Sacramento,
sue-
California.
Hold on, you guys talking at once. Brandon, go ahead.
He gets the treat of having to travel up to Sacramento, California to watch a TV taping. After he got tequila soaked all over his Spider-Man underwear.
He was pretty upset. He was crying in the crowd. It's a
Let me tell
shame.
you something. Let me tell you something.
I would be. That's all of a sudden poison alcohol is fucking all over your clothes. And your
It's bad enough my mother's breath smells like it when she tries to kiss me goodnight. Yeah,
All right. First of all, that's going to be the greatest moment of that kid's life. It goes down in history
but at the
as
time,
it's a little shitty. That being said, whoever that kid and his mother, if that kid's mother had money to buy him a floor seat at anything in that
at the
fucking
Chase
arena
Center in San Francisco. Yeah.
Jesus, I can only imagine what
That's where
that.
the
I
Warriors
think
play.
tickets in
On
the
the
last
floor.
row in that arena, $20,000.
right?
I would wager that's the most expensive ticket in America is the Chase
100%,
Center in San Francisco.
Oh, it's San Francisco, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everything. I always joke whenever we would go there that when I came home, my credit score was 200 points lower. I mean, you drop. So when you go to San Francisco, there's I can't remember what there's a square in the middle of the city, and we stayed in a hotel there. Okay, and sometimes sometimes you're on vacation and you just fucking, especially when you're in a city vacay, and you get like I'm just fucking, I can't even think. Like I just want food. I don't know where the fuck to go. And I'm looking for some restaurant. There's a Macy's, and on top of that Macy's is a fucking Cheesecake Factory. Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's what the San Fran for the Cheesecake Factory.
so I went to the cheese. We were like, you know what? I was like, can we just up there? My wife, yep, let's go. We're both dying and we can't think. So we go up to the Cheesecake Factory.
I like Cheesecake Factory.
$100 with tip, San Francisco. Cheesecake Factory.
You
It's
just
like
get
No
$90.
drinks. No drinks.
No drinks.
How many cheesecakes did you have?
Well, I was pissed off. I always just assumed that's the only Cheesecake Factory I've ever been to, and I just assumed that there'd be like dun 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 dun, like cheesecakes
Yeah, it's
going
not.
around the conveyor
I know.
belts. No,
I've only been to the one in Cherry Hill, and I had like a chicken Caesar salad. They have the biggest fucking menu on the
their
planet.
menu's a fucking novel.
Massive. It's ridiculous.
Dun 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 cheesecakes on conveyor belts. You can hear like, every like 45 minutes. Dun, 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 dun. The fucking steam whistle. Let everybody know it's got work.
Factory. Gotcha. So,
I have a take. Nobody asked. I have a take on the.
Yeah, I do ask.
If you, my take is that if you found it offensive or you really liked it, you stink. I thought it was just like a boring, like non thing.
Right. Okay.
The internet had to be like. The internet had to
Take
be
sides.
like. I hate this. This was
I
fucked
love
up. Or
this.
I love it. It's just like.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what
stink.
though? When he did it, I will say this. And now that you said that it wasn't, I just assumed, because I would just figure, oh, if you do that to a kid in the audience, no matter what you do, they're going to fucking sue you. They made them sign non-sue paperwork. Number one, right? But here's the other thing. When MJF threw it on him, didn't really throw it on him. He was like,
He dumped it on his lap.
yeah,
Watch
but it
again.
wasn't
He
like,
dumped that shit on his lap. He dumped
There
it
was
on
a
his
little
lap.
questioning oneself in there. I don't blame him. I'm not saying, but like, it was like, if it was a plant, if the kid was a plant,
Oh, he would have dumped it on his head.
he would have just been like, boom, thrown it right in his face.
Right.
So he was like a little
Cup
self-doubt
included.
while he was doing it. And he was just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
I thought it was good shit. He
Yeah,
had
it was.
during that whole segment, he went in there and he grabbed one of the trash cans and pretended to dump it on one of the people standing nearby too. He was
Not
really
a big
pissed
deal.
off.
If he didn't know if
No,
it
it
was
wasn't. It
tequila,
was part of the
whatever, I'm
show,
sure. How
man.
could he know? It fucking happened. It's
It was
okay.
part of the show.
It's not. A big,
You think he walked in the back and they were like, and he was like, what? So fucking tequila.
I guarantee he's a pro. I guarantee he was like, "Hey, is that kid back here? Let me go see him after the
Yeah.
press conference."
Sure.
I didn't find it offensive or particularly cool. Just
No.
Okay.
It was another thing that happened.
you
and
gotta
now I
have
moved
a
on with
take.
my life.
Yeah, you have to. You can't just be middle of the road. Can't be like, yeah, that was wrestling. That's called a live event. On the back of the ticket, it says, watch out, things might hit you. You just don't expect it to be a glass of tequila.
That's why we're here. That's it.
On an
Someone
8-year-old.
has to.
Gotta have a hot take. Everybody's gotta have a hot take. Vince is back.
Fired. Yeah, fired.
Yeah, give me a fucking break. Next week, we are... Oh, wait a minute. Do I have anything else? No. Next week, we are covering New Japan Cup. All we're responsible for. New Japan Cup matches.
Evil. I'll cover the evil match. Can I just watch the evil match?
Break it down in minutia.
Minute by minute.
Yeah. That's all we're doing. You guys cool with that?
Yeah,
all right.
You don't have to watch AEW. You don't have to watch Stardom. We're going to just do Japan Pro Wrestling. That's what we're going to do going forward. We're going to try to pick one thing. This week in particular was a heavy wrestling. Imagine if we covered fucking Ring of Honor. We're doing it. Ring of Honor. We'd be doing fucking Stardom. It'd be tough.
I'm
trying to grab one thing at a time so we don't get gassed out. Go ahead, Chris.
I plan on not acknowledging, and this is not a knock on them, but not acknowledging the existence of Ring of Honor until I absolutely have to acknowledge the existence of Ring of Honor.
I think it's happening quick.
Yeah, I think it is too.
But I mean, like, unless they really deliver and it's something that we need to really talk about, I do.
Well, they taped a month. They did 4 tapings over the weekend, last weekend, I guess. So 2 weekends ago. So in another month, we might pay attention. You know what I mean?
See what happens.
I'm fucking the Empire versus the Arsenal versus
Dalton Castle
versus the fucking Kingdom.
The Empire. The Empire is the Kingdom.
The Empire and the Kingdom versus the Arsenal and the fiefdom.
Madison Square Taven.
That's right.
He's back, Brandon. How do you feel about Madison MST has returned?
He never left in my heart.
How do you feel that you didn't buy one of those shirts?
I am a little.
I think you can still buy one.
You still can. Yeah. I was on there. I was perusing Pro Wrestling Tees the other day because Jungle Kiona came out with like a fundraiser T-shirt. It's ugly as hell, but I bought it anyway because the money goes to help her with her surgeries and all this shit. So, yeah, it's still on there. The Madison Square Tees.
That's the last thing I need is another black wrestling T-shirt.
Oh my god! I try to buy all colored ones. They're different colors. I got a white Natsupoi shirt on.
I buy zero.
My wife likes me in black. It's slimming. Hides my tits.
That's how you get the sex, dude.
That's how I get the bang zone.
On that note, Dick, you having to poop?
Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We can do it every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @hard_4 wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. I'm Brandon. I'm Jim. For Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim again. We'll be back here next week.